Holla, another Monday, and we're on our way to the radio station to go and present our topic, which we have been for many years. And also hard deliberately is something that I do to give wisdom, knowledge, and let people know that if you can't win in your mind, if you can't see yourself big in your mind, if you can't see whatever it is you want to do in your mind as a success, there's no way it'll ever become a success. Now, in the Word of God, it says, according to your faith, it shall be done unto you. And that's one of the most amazing scriptures I hold dear, because I've seen that no matter what anybody wants to be in life, it's according to you. What do you see yourself as? No matter what country, region, wherever you are, you must see yourself as a winner, as a champion, as the head and not the tail, as above and not beneath. Because ultimately, whatever you perceive becomes your reality. And this is why on this show, the Word of God also goes on to say, be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind. Which means that if your mindset is not transformed, your life will not be transformed. So everything begins in the mind. And this is why every single Monday, for the past 4 years, we've been doing this deliberately, planting a seed in people's minds, wherever they watch it, hear it, and so many great testimonies have come from this amazing podcast and show. And this is why we won't stop. And this is a legacy that I want people to remember George Billionaire Monengwa for that individual who relentlessly kept telling people, don't despise the day of small beginnings. Because I used to be like you once upon a time. I used to look and admire other people, but I had to change the way I grew up thinking. I had to change making excuses. I had to start small, work hard, and keep pushing until I am where I'm at today. So this wisdom, this knowledge is available to all those who watch the Hustle Hard episodes that are there on this YouTube channel. If you haven't subscribed to the YouTube, go to George Billionaire Monengwa on YouTube and type in Hustle Hard, and you will see the many episodes. And I say many, there's no one episode which is the same. Some are question and answer, some are my top 10 success principles, some are so many things. Of course, there are the School Run Diaries and other things that I've shared and I've experienced in business. But today, let's get into the studio and let's go on talking about what it is that we must do in order for us to succeed. And all of it begins with a renewed mindset, getting rid of those excuses, and deliberately doing what everybody else is not doing in order for us to succeed. Holla holla, it's your boy. Let's go.
Or rather, today's conversation is we are starting the new month. It's mostly questions from the listeners. And if you're a listener and you're tuning in right now and you have a question to ask George Billionaire, you can send it through on our WhatsApp platform 0719 100 404. I have about 5 questions from people that are dealing with more of family. I don't say burden, it's not a burden, but they have family situations to deal with whilst they're also trying to get into the hustling world. So I'm going to read out. First of all, hello, Uncle Billy.
Holla holla, it's your boy George Billionaire, and it's always a pleasure to be here. A special shout out to a special lady in the building today, Noma Nice, born on the 2nd of March.
Thank you very much.
And happy birthday to you. And
Thank you.
I know we're going to have this conversation the rest of March. You don't celebrate your day once. And you know, I had brought something for you. And I will deliver it next week.
Yay.
Birthdays are to be celebrated.
But Uncle
And,
Billy, we share the same month, hey.
Yeah. So I will talk about that after the show. So happy birthday. We appreciate you. You're an amazing individual, and certainly birthdays should be given to people and celebrated.
Sure.
This weekend was amazing. We got to see so many people celebrating their birthday. Happy birthday to Honorable Scott. It was an amazing weekend where there was so much happening across the country. We had, of course, the biggest boss, Rick Ross. And it just shows you there's so much happening in this amazing country called Zimbabwe. There are so many sports organizations having so many kit unveilings. It just wasn't, Scotland. There were so many things being happening. Kwekwe, there was one. Black Rhinos had theirs, Scotland had theirs, and you're beginning to see a lot of development in the same country we are all staying in, called Zimbabwe. I did go to, the show this weekend, and it's amazing just to see what's happening out there. And somebody who's listening, who's thinking, Zimbabwe, there's no activity, people are just making excuses. It just also gets to show you that wakagara kumba, wakamira, there are other people who are making amazing strides. And I was privileged to be an invited guest as well at Honorable Scott's dinner. And there were so many people. That room was filled with the who's who in Zimbabwe. And I always talk about, if you hang around with success, sooner than later you too will become successful. And I learned so much from Dr. Kuda Tagwire. I learned so much from Ken Sharp. I learned so much from all the amazing speakers who spoke about friendship and supporting each other and investing in our country, Zimbabwe. And this is a call to so many people out there, wherever you are. There's so much happening in the world right now, but there's no better, safer place to begin to send your investments and build something that will cause a huge change in the world. And to somebody else, this is going to be something that's really going to hit hard. I know there are many people who say, I don't know if it will succeed if I start. But I'm just going to give an example of Honorable Scott Sakupanya and Scotland Football Club, which was started 2 years ago. When he started, people used to laugh at him. People thought it wasn't going to work. But by the end of the kit unveiling, there was $5 million raised by people who came in to support. And this is the message to you. You don't know how many people are going to support you until you actually start. So what happens to most people before they start? They listen to the opinions of people. They think, it's too expensive to do this. It's not going to work. But had he listened to the opinions of so many people, saying, do you even know how to manage sport? But now look at how many corporates, big banks, putting in so much money, personal people coming in, buying a jersey, signed by the president for $1 million. So many things happening. But that's because somebody started something. And now, look, people are supporting you. It's the same thing with me and Pro Air. Had I not started, I possibly would not be getting the support and financial return had I not started. Because with most people, your excuse becomes the biggest hindrance. Your fear of the unknown becomes the biggest hindrance. So with these lessons that we are seeing in our lives with people, same thing with Rick Ross, how he was talking about, had I never recorded my first song, I wouldn't be now one of the most requested artists on the planet, and now he's got multiple investments. So if you are hearing this, the greatest hindrance to you becoming what you want to be is nobody else but you. You are holding yourself back because you are not willing to do what others are not doing. And this is why those who become rich and successful will not stop, because they are willing to take that step of faith, and then things just begin to open up. So I just thought I'd share that. We shared this on Hustle Hard, and our purpose and mandate here is to learn from others who became successful. I'm here to share my wisdom to so many listeners, so many viewers, that all things are possible simply if you believe. And we are seeing so many success stories around the country of Zimbabwe of things being done. And if it shows you Zimbabwe, there's something in you which is holding you back, which is basically your lack of self-belief, your excuse, you blaming the government. But look around you. There's so many people. I always tell people, if you think people are doing things the wrong way and they are stealing, it's just your lack of exposure to you actually beginning. Because if you began and you get people around you, they'll also support you and you also become great. So that's just my nugget from my experience over the weekend, as I too myself was inspired by, when it's your birthday and you get a couple of friends gathered together to buy you a $250,000 car as a birthday present. People come and celebrate you with gifts of certain multitudes. It also talks about your association, who you are hanging around with. And as you grow in
Why are you
life,
starting this?
and when I'm at Peter,
A big.
it also shares about, you must be equally yoked with people who have the same vision with you. And in that room on Saturday evening, I truly did see the power of associating with greatness. And it's so important. You cannot have a successful life if you keep hanging around with people with low self-esteem, negative people, people with no ambition, people who suffer from excusatitis. You must change your association if you're definitely going to change your destination and where you end up.
And I think from what you say, this is what I got, that just start. Just start. Don't think too long and hard about it. Just start. You never know where you will be in the next two years and all of that. So today we are starting off very strong because we already have questions coming in. Before I go through this question, I'm going to read the messages first. Hansi, good afternoon, George, the billionaire. Nowadays, I'm scarce on the pulse because I'm now putting in practice what I learned on Hustle Hard. Now into full-time hustling thanks to your lessons. That is Elder Summers in Blanket. Then big up Uncle Billy. Congress Gwaji, big up. I'm giving that to you. Then someone sent a question and said, hello guys, how are you? My name is Takunda. It's nice to meet you. I have a question. I finished my tourism and hospitality management course and I passed my exams. So up to now, I don't have a job and I'm stuck at home and it's boring. So I don't know what to do.
Oh, big shout out to all those who are putting into practice some of the things we teach here. But I always say to people that the greatest thing that you can ever get in life is exposure. It's experience. And to he or she, whoever it is who has a PhD, a master's, is sitting at home. Sometimes there are some things that can be financially rewarded, which are called jobs. And if they're scarce, I remember doing this many years ago. I went and I volunteered my services to serve in an organization so that I could learn. And I tell you, the people I used to serve back then are some of my clients today. But I went in there, I wasn't paid for a good 4 or 5 months until they actually started saying, you know what, this guy is well spoken. Why don't we give him the post of that person who was working here? Because look, he's efficient, he's on time, he's well groomed. So I always tell people that it's not about the money. Everybody, I can tell you this, if you're just thinking I'm looking for a job and I'm looking for a salary, there are some things that money will not teach you that experiences will. So I urge that individual to go and serve. If you did hospitality, go to ZTI, offer your services for free. Say, listen, I just want to come and learn. When they see your dedication, when they see how good you are at what you're doing, they will open up a vacancy because they see that, listen, this person is different and unique. And there are many who say, no, I've tried this, I've gone there. I can tell you, if you go to an organization and you say, listen, I just want to learn, even if they tell you to sweep the floor, there's something you will learn about organizational structure, about how to work in the corporate world. That's better than you sitting at home, doing nothing, scrolling, and not benefiting from anything. I'm telling you, in due season, things will change, and you will be different from everybody else who is putting their CVs out there and waiting for a job to come. And the job won't come because for most graduates right now, there's so many people who are overqualified, but they don't have experience. But when you write on your CV, you have experience because you worked for this organization for a year as this, that, and the other. I would anytime employ somebody who has experience than somebody who I have to teach from zero about the corporate world.
All right, so while you wait for that job you want, to get the experience first, even if you're not getting paid out of it.
That's it.
Offer your services, prove yourself, prove what you can do. I hope you got that one, Takunda.
All right. So last week there were questions that came through on the WhatsApp platform, and I'm hoping that people can continue to send them through on 0719 100 404. So if you have a question, even on a Tuesday, you can send it through on our WhatsApp platform between 12 and 3, and we'll definitely ask George when we meet him on Hustle Hard. So the first one, Hans George, I really appreciate the work you're doing with Hustle Hard and Capital, but I'm tired. Every January I say this is my year, and by March family problems have swallowed my savings. How do you build when every time you get money there's a funeral, school fees, or groceries at home?
Okay. There's no way you can build if you don't have something you're building. And I think I've said this, most people who you see in the country of Zimbabwe or around the world have decided to start something that gives them money in return. So when you start a business, remember the principle about business, you get something, you sell it, and you make what's called a profit. If you're not using that and all you're doing is saving money, I can tell you that money will dwindle away because things will come about and come around. So the best way to make the amount of money that you want is to start a business. Find a problem in your community, in your country, wherever you are, and become the solution to that. George Billionaire is known for a solution providing air conditioning solutions to people. What solution are you providing to people? I know you two guys this weekend, you were providing a solution. I saw you doing amazing work, doing your MC, doing your event planning and all of that. You're providing a solution. So when you see yourself in the mirror, you should say, what solution am I solving? And when you begin to provide a solution, people will exchange what is called money, which is one thing we cannot live without, in exchange for your product or services. It's a very simple formula. But if it's just your salary you are relying on, just your salary, we always say this on the show, you will always remain just over broke because you are not doing something with the seed, which is your salary, in order to expand your streams of income. Because if you just have one stream of income, and I've said this so many times, there are people listening to us who have one stream of income. And the purpose and mandate of this show is to open up your mindset, to be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind, not just kungorilaya chino one, but also to start something. That if that job, and so many people have called me and said, George, what you spoke about on radio has happened, and it's going to happen a lot more in the next couple of years. So this is not a prophetic word, it's reality, because there's so many people who are so happy being an accountant, in a office clerk, and a back office worker, but technology is moving quickly and it's going to replace those jobs very soon. So whilst you still have a seed in the form of your salary, find something to do with that what you have, to multiply it. With my brother who asked that question, or my sister, I can definitely tell you that he's tired, but you haven't planted the seed correctly. You are saving, but you're not creating something. Because money, if you keep it in your pocket, it's just like a seed. If you keep a seed in your pocket, it will not give you a harvest in a couple of months' time. But if you plant it in the ground, water it, work hard on that craft, make sure you're putting in hard work, you're focusing on it. 1 cob of maize becomes 900 to 1,000. And then what do you do with it? You reinvest more and it keeps growing. And that's the model and principle of life and business. So when people do that, I can tell you they won't be tired. I tell you, when I started Pro Air many years ago, it was 1 unit. The first year we sold 13 aircons. The next year we sold 42 aircons. The next year it kept growing and multiplying. And that's the principle of business. So there's no get rich quick. Let's not lie to people and say, no, success happens overnight. That's the biggest lie ever told. So you need to put in that hard work ethic, slowly but surely. If you get tired, I'm telling you, you won't experience the heaven on earth, which is what God purposed us. We're supposed to enjoy heaven. Heaven is actually here on earth, where you can buy what you want, drive what you want. Because when we go, we're all going to be the same. There's not going to be choice of what you want. So if you're tired now, I feel sorry for you in the afterlife, because you're not going to enjoy the life that you want if you are already becoming tired right now.
So how do you separate helping family from enabling dependency?
I think, people need to be real. And I learned this amazing principle from an amazing mentor of mine. And he labeled it the monkey on my back. Don't assist when you are not able to, because you then put your family and yourself under pressure. Because you don't have. There's no way you're going to do certain things when you're supposed to put money into your business. You can assist, but some people have such a good heart, they think, no, I must, but then it leaves you and your family in a very hard and tough spot. So where you're not able to, because there's a lot of pressure with families. For firstborns, you must do this and all of this. But first, take care of your business. And when you do that, your business will then be able to take care of people. So I think that's my thing to people out there, that don't be too quick to assist at any call. Because there are many people who are very willing to assist, but then it then messes up your financial issues at home and then disturbs your way of life and your standard of living.
All right. You mentioned something about technology and how it's replacing a lot of jobs, right? A good example, Emma Postman and right? So I have a question, because I know there's some people that are going to be starting university very soon. What are those programs? Maybe at least help us with 3 or 4. We may as well have parents that are listening. And you know how parents are hell-bent and saying, no, we're going to start the chakat. And now the reality on the ground is technology is taking over on a lot of things. So what are those programs that you say, please stay away from these programs?
Right. So I think, thank God for technology and AI these days. And I think the most simplest thing parents and children trying to find out what career path they should go to is just look at the 25 most on-demand jobs, right? And it will tell you that this is a thing that you must get in line with. Now, especially to our parents, who are the ones who pay for our university fees, this is a call to parents. Parents, please listen closely. You cannot live your life through your son or daughter. Please note that. Let them have the opportunity and chance to make a choice for themselves. Now, I've always told school leavers that take a gap year. You say you want to be an orthodontist. I have my brother's daughter who got braces and she loved what the dentist did and she wanted to, become an orthodontist. She went and she served there for a year. Then she got to realize that, okay, this isn't really what I want to do. So sometimes what you want to study, if you want to become a lawyer, if you want to become whatever it is you want to do, during the school holidays, go and experience it. I had a son who wanted to become a lawyer, and I took him to the courts of law so that he can experience what a lawyer does. And he shadowed a lawyer friend of mine for a bit until he said, I think a lawyer is, I'm not liking it because, I won't have the freedom and time, and it's very consuming. You have to understand so much. So it's important, especially with where we are now. And my brother Ignatius Munengwa speaks highly on it. He's got a book called The Dream Big Diary, where it helps kids to focus and find themselves. So one thing I always recommend people, school leavers, to do is called business administration. Now, bachelor in business administration. If there's one thing, if you don't know what to do, the first degree you should get a bachelor of business administration. There's so many people who did psychology and so many of these very various and different degrees, because that's the only degree that was available. Don't do things because they're available. Don't. You must be specific to say, in my career, I want to do something in business. If you do business administration, whether you want to become a lawyer, an architect, an engineer, whatever it is, business admin is a basic foundation, which is going to work for 100 years from now, because it tells you the basics, principles of running a business. So for me, it's not 2 or 3. Whether you're going to be an architect, an engineer, because business administration has 12, 13 topics which have to do with life and business. There's a bit of law in there, psychology, marketing, economics. You get to basically understand what life is about. So for me, it's not 2 or 3. To those who don't know what they want to do, my advice to many people out there is do business administration, but also with those things that you want to do, shadow those people who you want to do that thing in life, and you'll be surprised. They'll come back. Your kids will come back to you and say, no, you know what? I thought architecture was nice, but there's a lot of stuff, and I would rather do this. So let's not force our kids because dad was a doctor. You too should become a doctor. There are so many people listening right now whose parents were teachers, and they too now are teachers. But if you ask them, it's just because of lack of exposure and choices. They had to just do what they were told. My teacher kudaranga ine mari. But things now have changed. So it's important, parents, let's be very liberal and guide our children in the right way, not just dictate because you are paying.
Right.
If we do that, we're not creating something that makes sense.
So exposure, patience, and understanding is required. There's a message that came through. Pleasant afternoon, George Billionaire. Thank you so much for your words of wisdom. I always listen to your show. It's Sandy, the closet organizer. I can't send a message the other time.
Oh,
you always say one has to look for problem, then turn it. Right. Sorry, something happened there. But you always say one has to look for a problem, then turn it into an income. I'm currently into closet organizing. I have a small customer base, but I realized whenever I organize someone's pantry or inner closet, they get to refer me to their friends. Just by the art of organizing a pantry, even an in-house bar, and even folding clothes, I realized my business is more to do with my customer references. Thank you so much for this show, guys.
Wow.
That's Sandy, the closet organizer.
Wow. And it's always good to get feedback of people who are actually doing things and putting things into play.
It is. All right, we are 3 minutes away from 1 o'clock. So before you go, Mr. George Billionaire, of course, there are people that want to come to you and have my one-on-one with you, your mentorship programs and all of that. How do they get in touch with you?
So I think I've given my number before. It's 712-840-840. And it's George Billionaire. We've got a YouTube channel, Instagram, Facebook. There's a lot of content I share out there. And, just by going and watching the amazing videos we've done over the years, there are many people, of course, who want to see me one-on-one, but the amount of wisdom we share here, it will be a rock for you not to apply these things, because application of knowledge equals success. So there are many people, there are always people who want one-on-one. Those people, most of the time, they have a lack of self-belief. And I think for me, as much as I'm somebody who you say is full of wisdom, this weekend, especially with where I went, I was touched greatly by the different mindset other people have. And this is, I think, the key thing that I want people to understand. If we are going to want to have a greater, more successful year, we have to have the right associates around us. We have to have a serious work ethic. The people who were in the room I was in this weekend are serious workaholics. They don't say no, they don't make an excuse. They are people who are driven. No wonder why they have become successful and household names in the country of Zimbabwe. So if you're going to want to be great, the things we share on this show are very simple. They are very applicable to anybody. But I've always said this, that the worst thing that's going to happen is when you die, go to heaven, where you think you're going to live in paradise. And you're going to be told that no, where you were was paradise.
Nothing else.
But there is where you had the choice to be able to start a side hustle, build it to become an SME, build it to become a globally recognized organization. You could drive, you could travel, you could do all you wanted, but it was all your choice. So to all those listening, do not regret this when it happens and you wish you could have another year on earth just to come back and apply, because most people don't know their true potential because they are scared of what is behind the door of fear. So it's important people realize that let's be doers. Let's apply the things that we're being told on this amazing program, and I can guarantee you, you too will become a success and become great.
All right, I wanted to ask this with the few seconds that we have left. For those that want to come for internship to Pro A, how do they do it? What's the email address?
So they can email proazw@gmail.com and they can basically call the number 0779-840-840. We do actually offer internship to people who are at universities so that they can get exposure. We do offer that.
Okay.
So that's open to people who want to get into corporate world, please get in touch with us.
Munodaira here. Pane zvimwe kazoti
Tinodaira,
Okay.
and chakakosha is attitude
Okay.
is important. If you have a great attitude and you're somebody who's hardworking, I can guarantee you that opportunity is available for people.
All right, that's all we had today for Hustle Hard. Thank you so much, George Billionaire, for always coming through with the nuggets. It is 1 o'clock on Capital. It's time for the news.